you doing, folks? This is Black Shy Guy, and as always, I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. It's been a fantastic weekend for me. Hopefully it's been fantastic for you. Hopefully you guys are also, and I'm jumping right into it. I know you guys are going, damn, Shy Guy, like, can you hold up? Listen, I ain't holding up, all right? I ain't holding up. You guys better be following me on TikTok and better be following me on my Instagram. Stop playing games. You guys play too damn much. That's what it is. But anyway, as always, make sure you get your drink because we're about to dive into a very interesting topic today. A topic that involves a lot of people that I really cherished back in the days when I was a child. Basically, people that I've been watching and enjoying their content, people that I've enjoyed so much throughout their career. So make sure you get your drink, and as always, thank you for sitting at my table as we dive in to Vince McMahon allegation. And listen, I'm going to call it an allegation, okay? I'm going to call it an allegation because a lot of people already want to dive into basically stating that the allegations are true. They don't understand what Vince McMahon is basically saying when it comes to his response towards all these allegations issued by Janelle Grant, who's 43. She issued these allegations, and I'm not gonna lie, the Vince McMahon text messages, I'm gonna get into it, okay? I'm gonna get into the Vince McMahon text messages because I think a lot of people are taken back by what is being said in those text messages, but people don't understand how normal it is for people to, how can I say, to basically communicate in that fashion, because some people are actually into that type of stuff. Some people are actually into that type of kiki stuff because they find the regular stuff boring. So for people to be taken back by what the text messages say and basically stating, oh, it must be true because I cannot find this to be anything other than Vince McMahon being guilty are damn right out of their minds. Can we just wait? Can we just wait till everything comes out before you start blaming people? And I gotta understand, it's kind of odd for you to remove yourself from being the boss of basically the WWE and also Stephanie McMahon. We're gonna get into Stephanie McMahon as well because what Stephanie McMahon is from what I've seen, has resigned as well. And a lot of people's names are coming up. Also, Brock Lesnar's name is coming up. Maybe Brock Lesnar's name is coming up for the simple fact that Vince McMahon probably offered and Brock Lesnar refused. You know what I mean? It could be simple as that. But anyway, we're going to dive in to basically the start of Janelle Grant's 43, who's 43, lawsuit against WWE founder Vince McMahon for alleged sexual abuse. Mr. McMahon, as it states as of now, while I read off what the Post has been stating about this whole situation, Mr. McMahon tends to vigorously defend himself against these allegations, the spokesperson said. Her lawsuit comes after the Wall Street Journal reported last year that the WWE was investigating an alleged $3 million payment from McMahon to a departing female employee following a consensual affair. Listen, the fact that Vince McMahon had to pay her, that brings some doubt to his innocence. It does bring some doubt to his innocence. I find it kind of odd that you got to pay somebody to shut up if you're innocent, because if you're innocent, you're not paying nothing. You know what I mean? You're not paying nothing at all. So that brings doubt. That brings doubt when it comes to my own opinion. I don't know when it comes to yours, but when it comes to mine, which is what we're talking about right now, it brings a lot of doubt. So let's continue. A subsequent investigation found that McMahon paid $14.6 million to several women who accused him of sexual misconduct. Now, this is crazy. The fact that a whole bunch of ladies are now coming out and the total amount paid to all of these ladies is 14.6. I don't understand how they come up with that amount. Maybe obviously with some bank numbers of or bank withdrawals that he has done, and or maybe even transferred. If he did that, he's an idiot because they can always track that. So Vince McMahon, you were kind of an idiot for that. So let's continue. McMahon is also alleged to have shared nude photos and explicit videos of Grant without her consent with other WWE employees, according to the lawsuit. He once locked her inside his private locker room at WWE headquarters in Stamford and forced himself on her over a massage table, the complaint said. The WWE boss is also alleged to have directed Grant to have sex with other executives and a wrestling star, the lawsuit claims. John L., I'm going to say John L. because I don't want to kill his last name, WWE's former head of talent relations, who is named as a defendant in the lawsuit, was allegedly recruited by McMahon to have sex with Grant. Grant was told by McMahon to visit Elle in his hotel room where she had sex with him before work days. It was alleged in the lawsuit. And I'm going to say this. And listen, I have a daughter. Who is precious to me. And I know you guys is like, come on. We don't want to hear that. Let's get to the story. All right. Let's relax. All right. Let's relax. You don't have to freaking bring out the doorbell on me. All right. You don't have to bring out the doorbell on me. Okay. Just relax. I'm going to get to the story. What I'm saying is, a woman who continuously goes back after allegedly being attacked or being forced upon has to be questioned. Because if you are being forced to do all these sexual acts that obviously you're stating are sexual assaults by Vince McMahon and other colleagues, then why are you continuously going back for more? What it boggles my mind. Why are you continuously going back for more? Because your claims, your allegations are going to be questioned. Why are you continuously going back for more? A woman who is fearful of her own life and her own safety is not going to go back after the first or even the second. Let me throw it there. If she decides to go back and it happens again and then finally goes, you know what, I'm never going back because it happened again and I'm going to file charges, then okay, but she went back numerous of times from what it's stating here, from her own allegations. She went back a number of times. So this whole case is just coming out to be a discombobulated mess. And a lot of people who are coming up with the fact that Vince McMahon is definitely guilty are out of their mind. With all of these stories coming out, you have to question both of their stories. You have to question who actually is innocent in all this. And honestly, to tell you the truth, if I really want to look at it, it seems like Vince McMahon is a bit tad more innocent than she is. Because why will you go back continuously? It doesn't make sense. Let's continue. In one encounter at WWE offices in June 2021, let me state it again. In one encounter at WWE offices in June 2021, McMahon and Mr. L forced themselves on her simultaneously and took turns restraining her for the other. It was alleged in the lawsuit. Now, obviously, I don't need to repeat what transpired during that altercation right there, which, if I may say, is it an altercation? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You guys know what I'm saying. Why did she go back? Why did she go back even after that? You have to... listen, I'm just questioning. Because it's kind of mind-boggling. To automatically believe a woman who continuously got sexually assaulted and at the same time kept going back to receive more. Maybe she was into it herself. Who knows? Maybe she got mad at Vince McMahon during a period in time in between all those altercations that she said, you know what, fuck you. I'm going to get you for all your money because I can say that you raped me, you did all of this and all of that and the third. It's not out of the question. It's not out of the question, is it? Are you automatically going to take the word of this individual, of this former employee? I wouldn't. Let's wait for the story to come out. Let's wait for everything to come out. Let's continue. No mean jest and take it, bitch, were among the things McMahon and Mr. L said to Grant during the alleged assault, according to the lawsuit. And this is where another thing that a lot of people is going to assume, oh my God, look at what they're saying. They had to have raped her. There are people who are into that kinkiness that want to feel like they're taking territorial control over a woman during a sexual act. There are people who like that. There are ladies who like that. There are men who it arouses them. There are ladies that type of situation arouses them. It happens. Let's not act like it doesn't happen out there. Let's not act like there's people who are not into that stuff. We can't just jump into conclusions because these things seem to be so vulgar. They are vulgar, but that's neither here nor there because there are people who are into that stuff. You can't just say the man is freaking guilty for the simple fact that there are vocal scenarios happening during this whole freaking allegation that's going through Vince McMahon and some of his colleagues. Even Brock Lesnar was announced. Let's continue with that. In June 2021, McMahon told Grant to create sexualized content on her phone and send it to Brock Lesnar, a former UFC star whom the WWE was trying to sign at the time. Now, I ask you this. If he told Grant to create sexualized content on her phone and send it to Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar received it, then she was into that shit. Because for a damn fact, after all that ordeal happened and he texts you to send sexual content to an employee and you do it, that's because you were involved in that same shit that you're basically blaming him for. Both of you guys, all of you guys were into that kinky shit. All of you guys into that kinky shit. I can't go and just automatically blame Vic McMahon for the thing. I do blame him for his stupidity, for the simple fact that when you find a female who's into that stuff, get things in writing. Because and obviously, this happened in 2021, 2020, whatever the case may be, around that point in time, around that time and period. So the world was still going out of control. So Vince McMahon should have been covering his ass, because the modern woman of that era, of that point in time, that took advantage of men existed. I mean, they were around. He should have known better, especially a man in power like that. Let's continue. The company said it has received voluntary and compulsory legal demands for documents. I apologize for killing that word. Including from federal law enforcement and regulatory agencies concerning the investigation and related subject matters. The lawsuit by Grant comes just months after WWE was acquired by Endeavor, the sports and entertainment company owned by super agent Ari Emanuel. Endeavor and WWE together form TKO Group, which brings the wrestling brand under the same corporate umbrella as UFC. McMahon does not control TKO, nor does he oversee the day-to-day operations of WWE, a TKO spokesman told the Post on Thursday. While this matter predates our TKO executive team's tenure at the company, we take Ms. Grant's horrific allegations very seriously and are addressing this matter internally. Now, this is the thing, gentlemen. This is the thing. When you're doing kinky shit like that, get things in writing. As weird as it may sound, get things in writing, because you're automatically gonna be deemed guilty, no matter what. Even if she was into it, the minute she says, "I'm not into it no more," and you know what, my mind wasn't right at that time when you offered to do all that kinky stuff. So you know what? I think you assaulted me. Listen, and I'm not saying Vince McMahon is innocent. I'm just saying, from everything I'm seeing as of now, I would assume that he could possibly be innocent. He could possibly be innocent. I'm not going to deem him guilty automatically. And I'm not going to deem freaking Janelle Grant a victim. I'm not going to deem her a victim at all. Because She involved herself in a lot of situations that she should have been in if she just didn't go back. Now, we're going to go to the text messages that were very vulgar to some people's eyes, because a lot of people is like, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't believe the text messages of Vince McMahon. I mean, oh my God, he's such a vulgar person. He has to be guilty. Listen, stop it. You act like you never sent text messages to your girl in a kinky way or fashion. If you didn't, then hey, you probably boring. And if the female didn't do it to you, she probably was boring. When you're in a relationship, you do things to get kinky. You do things to stir the pot. You do things to spice things up. That's what happens in a relationship, and that's what happens not even in a relationship, but between two people who are just performing the acts despite them not being in a relationship. Okay, so let's continue with the text messages that involves Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant. This is the first text messages of Vince McMahon dating May 11th, 2020. I love it. Thank you, Janelle. You just can't get enough, can you? In the future, it's going to be so bad that you'll demand to be fucked twice a day, and not just with blank in a three-way. Why not let others see the beautiful, voluptuous body and watch you shake uncontrollably when you come? They'll go out of their minds. They'll find more friends and will tie you up so you're helpless. I direct them to have their way any way they want. Who can make you scream the loudest? Maybe I'll just line them up and have them squirt in your mouth, and among other places. The next morning you'll be a little sore, but you're still going to want more after all that fucking over and over. Once again, I should have said this before I read that text messages. If you are young, I really suggest that you get your parents' permission to listen to this podcast episode of Black Shy Guy, which anyway is an adult entertainment podcast. So make sure you get consent, please. I should have said that in the beginning, but I am gonna state it in the episode in the description, so you know that you can to prepare for some of the things that I'm going to read, which involves Vince McMahon's text messages that are very vulgar, but does not deem him guilty, despite the fact of how vulgar it seems. Okay, let's continue. This continues off of the last text messages that I just read, which dates May 11th, 2020. You've told him you would do anything with him, so if he surprised you with two others, you would have no alternative than to take them on. Oh my God, the stories you can tell me then. It makes me want to come right now. By the way, I just thought of what I think is an excellent idea. Maybe you can hint that if he knows someone who can be discreet, it might be better if you and Johnny try him out first so he can get more comfortable before he is introduced to me. Actually, that makes total sense, doesn't it? That was the end of that text messages, which is dated May 11th, 2020. I'm not going to read every single text messages because it is vulgar as they come. Just giving you the gist of what Vince McMahon used to text this young lady. What I find weird is there is a response. Before, when I heard that these text messages came out, it was stated that Janelle Grant did not respond in any of these text messages, but she did have some responses, and this was the response. We are going back to May 11th, 2020. This was a response to that whole freaking chapter that Vince McMahon just texted her, and this was her response. Give me another week, baby, and I'll be ready. I'm feeling more like myself. It's not great, but it's getting better. Tell him soon. I already told him, baby. By the way, Johnny wants Tuesdays, but not this coming one, and the occasional Saturday, but maybe I can shift it to Thursday night. Johnny would like all of the above. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is what she's agreed to when it comes to that text message. I mean, let's continue, and I believe this is coming off the same situation. Vince McMahon is really going hard with all the sexual comments here, and there's no point. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna read the whole text message, but I'm not gonna read the entire thing because it's just crazy. It's just so chaotic, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, obviously, if you want to read them, you can pause. You can pause this recording, and which is located on my TikTok. You can pause this recording and read the text messages for yourself. But I don't know. I refuse to read all of it because I mean, not that it makes me uncomfortable. It just makes me uncomfortable on who may find my podcast episode and hear me saying all of this, which is very vulgar and very disturbing. If someone of a young age is actually who can actually get a hold of their parents' phone or whatever the case may be and bump into my podcast and hear me say all of this. So I am gonna leave the rest of these text messages out because it's just downright very vulgar. And once again, I'm not saying that Vince McMahon is guilty, despite the fact that all these text messages towards Janelle Grant is vulgar, but her response finds me even being more comfortable for the simple fact that she seems like she's agreeing to the whole situation. So the fact that she's coming up with all these allegations against Vince McMahon finds me a bit I don't know, not finding her story very believable at all. I'm gonna read you one other part of the text messages that I don't know. It's kind of weird, and maybe this is the point in time that she was kind of backing out. But let's continue with the text messages. This one is dated, I believe, July 21st. A month and a half, basically, after the May 11th, 2020 text messages. And this is the end of that. Here's what said after I told him that part of the deal was fucking you. That's your turf. She will be ruined after me and leave your ass. Plus, after me, your two won't fit anymore. Wait a minute. Let's go back. I gotta listen to who is Vince McMahon saying this to. Let me read back a couple of sentences because I really want to find out who he's actually talking to. Seems like he's talking to a guy here, but anyway, I can be wrong. Okay, I'm ready. Who's next? I drove them wild, baby. Or I should say you drove them wild. Just imagine if this really happened, baby. How much cum you would have coming out of all your holes. And yeah, he was talking to her. Plus, after me, your two won't work anymore. So then he says, those compliments will keep on coming, baby. Just wait and see. I totally understand and agree being scared of communication and photos. Johnny gets drunk and sloppy and could easily make a mistake that could cost him his job and yours too. Verbal communication is the way to go. That said, have you and Johnny talked about breakfast tomorrow? She responds, we haven't discussed it at all. It's up in the air. Johnny complained about getting a new phone and just arrived. I haven't set up to coordinate setting it up with it because I need him to assure me that he's erased everything he's ever saved. Truly, I regret that he ever got pics. It's not worth the stressing I'm feeling. I'm done with it. You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't seem like a woman who's not completely against everything that's going on. It seems like she's down. It seems like she's down. And I just want to say this. I just want to say this to everyone who believes that automatically that Vince McMahon is guilty. You got to look at both sides. You got to look at both sides and you got to put yourself in that situation. If this woman was so-called actually getting raped and sexually assaulted, do you think she will continuously go back? And also, her verbal rebuttal towards all of Vince McMahon's vulgar text messaging, you think it would have sounded like that? Do you think a woman who's being sexually assaulted would have sent text messages close to being almost complimentary to what Vince McMahon was sending her? Do you think that actually could have happened to a woman who really was against everything that was happening to her? I don't think so. I don't think so. We're going to go into Stephanie McMahon because a lot of people are talking about Stephanie McMahon, who's been named as one of the so-called people involved in this, because obviously Stephanie McMahon is going through a lot right now. She is going through a lot right now, and I believe she shut down I think she shut down her social media. So I mean, it could be the fact that she's getting bombarded by people. You know how the internet can be. people already jumping on your social media just to blame you for everything that her father did. But Stephanie McMahon, as it states, is accused of taking part in covering up Ashley Massoro's sexual assault allegations made against the WWE as a friend. Let me see. Why is it stating a different name here? Hold on, folks, because the woman who's being blamed, I guess that's another woman. Has filed that. Is this another woman that actually Stephanie McMahon has been? This is crazy. I mean, I didn't know this part, guys. I didn't know this part right here. Let me see. I am ashamed of myself. Stephanie McMahon losing her mind with Vince McMahon's actions in old promo resurfaces. Janelle Grant's lawsuit. A lawsuit has been filed against Vince McMahon, the co-founder. We all know that. What we want to know is what Stephanie McMahon is actually let me see. Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie McMahon, accused her father of trafficking her to his business associates when she was... Whoa, this can't be true. This can't be true. I refuse to believe this. In an old promo for WWE, Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie McMahon, accused her father of trafficking her to his business associates when she was 17 years old. In the video, Stephanie McMahon says, "I am sorry to all my life. I've let you manipulate me and use me all my life just to be the apple of my daddy's eye. Every time I went out to dinner with one of your business associates, I was 17 years old. You don't think they told me what you promised them I'd do? And guess what, Dad? I did it. I did it for you. The things I did with them, and I am ashamed of myself. I am ashamed of myself that I am just like you." Whoa. This is impossible. No, this is impossible. I'm not going to believe this news. I'm not going to believe this news. I'm going to stop right there because I refuse to be a participant of news that can probably be false. If this is actually true, make sure you catch me on TikTok or even on Instagram and let me know if this is actually true. I cannot continue reading this because I have not heard any of that part. But we all know Stephanie McMahon was named in part of the allegations that basically Janelle Grant had stated against WWE former CEO Vince McMahon of covering up for her father, of covering up for Vince McMahon. And obviously, it's a horrific thing to do if all these allegations ring true. It is a horrific thing to do. But in top of it, that is her father. And I'm just speaking... I'm just speaking if I was at her side. She's not going to see it as something wrong because she's trying to protect her father. So, I mean, which is horrific nonetheless. Let me state that here and now. That is horrific nonetheless. But seeing it from both sides, I'm being very logical here. But if that's true, what Stephanie McMahon went through, if that is true, what Stephanie McMahon went through, with basically her father pimping her out, then that is a good reason why she tried to cover up for her father, because her mind was already fucked up with what Vince McMahon did to her. So Stephanie McMahon, despite it being as bad as it sounds in her covering up for her father, she was fucked up by her father, which is what led her to do those horrific things and covering up for her father when it came to Janelle Grant. It's a horrific thing all around, and I really do I do have a soft spot for if this is all true. I do have a soft spot for Stephanie McMahon, because if that's true, imagine what she went through. Imagine what she went through because of her father. So obviously the villain, if this is all rings true, Vince McMahon should be thrown in the bottom of a jail cell. But like I said in the beginning, I'm not going to deem him guilty until I hear the whole story, until I hear everything, because I got to hear why Janelle Grant kept going back despite the fact of everything placing her in danger, and the fact that her text messages seemed like she was very much involved of everything going on when it came to all those sexual allegations. It seems like she was down with it. Seems like she was a very highly productive participant. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know what you guys think after all of this. Make sure that you follow up also with the story. Let me know if the Stephanie McMahon and her father pimping her out is actually true. This is Black Shy Guy. As always, I really love you guys. I'm really grateful for all the support you guys have given me. I really love the fact that you guys have stuck with me. I'm really getting into the momentum of pushing more and more content out. As always, you guys are always welcome at my table. This is Black Shy Guy. I am out of here. Peace.
Arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim of suicidal maniac.